Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you how to install an SSD in your PlayStation 5. So I'm using the Samsung 980 Pro with a built-in heatsink, and I think this works very well. So what we're going to do here is flip around to the back side, and we have to pop it off towards the left there in the video, just like that. I'm doing another replay of it, so it's off into the corner. It should pop off relatively smoothly, so it's on the bottom here. There's going to be a big fan there, but there's a silver part there, with underneath it is going to be where we're going to put our extended SSD. So we're just going to unscrew this piece here. It comes off relatively quick and easy, but one thing to keep in mind is you're going to have the right type of screwdriver, because you do not want to strip these screws down, as this makes it very difficult if you need to get back into it. So there is one thing to note: there is a correct way to put the SSD in, and there's also going to be a little spacer that needs to be correctly put into place. So we're going to unscrew the spacer first. This is important, as depending on the size of your SSD, it's going to go in different places. I'm using the Samsung 980 Pro, so it goes around the closest to the actual setup itself. You'll see exactly where to put it as you put the SSD into place. So there's going to be one side on your SSD that should line up perfectly. There's going to be like a double notch there that has to set into place properly. Now when we go to put this into place, be mindful of where you put the screws. So it'll be different for everyone, but the little spacer there should look somewhat like this, and it just, again, depends on where it's going in your system. So depending on the size of the SSD, it'll be different, but it will make sense once you have the SSD in place. It's not too difficult. You can always take it back apart if something isn't working properly, but it's relatively easy. You just need to put the SSD in, screw the thing into place, and make sure that it is set up properly and balanced on it. I don't have a great angle of it here. I'm sorry for that, but it's pretty straightforward once you have the SSD in it itself, and then you're just going to screw that into place, and then eventually we're just going to get the cover into place as well and put the cover back on. You definitely want to have the cover on. Some people think that it will make it a bit more breezy and have better airflow to protect the SSD, but you want to have it there as it's built to have it in place. So I have a little bit of sped up footage here, but you just screw it back into place. It's pretty easy. Don't over tighten the screws or anything, but just make sure it's in there and nice and stable, and it is relatively easy to do. Then we're just going to pop the corner back on, and it's a relatively smooth setup here, so we're just going to pop it back in the opposite that we did it, and there you have it, how to install an SSD in your PlayStation 5. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video useful.